Avatars, Aliens, and Self-Actualization Within the Matrix, Part 13, The Missing Key Revealed, a wisdom teaching from the Intergalactic Alliance of Light Beings, from Canadian psychic medium Tracey Milne. Greetings, friends, and welcome back. In our last video, we left off asking about what kind of technology and techniques the Dark Fleet used to cloak themselves. The fascinating response naturally led to more questions, like why someone would agree to those conditions. Let's find out the answer to that question as we pick up where we left off. I hope you find this information as beneficial as I have. Enjoy. Question: is body possession always a soul agreement? Why would someone agree to that? Yes, the possession or body swap always has some kind of soul agreement attached to it. As for why, in exchange for certain privileges, one of the ways the Dark Fleet tricked the Light was the use of doublespeak spellcasting, using ideas, concepts, and greed to manipulate their chosen special ones. Using an ancient spellbinding technology, they trapped the soul of the humans who believed their lies and agreed to allow for possession of their body. This fed the Dark Fleet, giving the illusion of immortality, while simultaneously giving humans the impression that they held the power over life and death. This false power illusion was very effective as it turned humans against humans, encouraging greed, revenge, and envy, creating power struggles and structures that encouraged people to believe harming others for personal gain was the will of the gods somehow. Why would someone willingly choose that kind of trade? Well, let's just say that some humans chose to believe a lie, and by doing so completely disconnected their incarnate Godspark from their oversoul. This choice trapped their spirit in one of the ghost zones, scattered between the planes of existence, in exchange for limited power and fleeting beauty, false adoration, and wealth at a huge cost. This false power trade-off left the original Godspark trapped in a web of their own making, with some assigned to manipulate humanity's consciousness fields from the emotional, mental, and spiritual fields within the planes of existence. Question: what did trapping another soul in this way offer the Dark Fleet? This kept you in their recycling and reincarnation loop, where properly accessing your past life lessons became next to impossible. It kept their game going indefinitely and always in their favor at the expense of every other player not on their team. It was in essence cheating the system on a cosmic scale. Question: what are the Halls of Amente and what function do they perform? The Halls of Amente is a time portal passage that holds the human blueprint field that would allow the fragmented human souls to evolve back into our original divine blueprint as 12D beings. The Halls of Amente are a time portal passage that are dimensional pathways to leave this 3D Earth system. In these halls, there are large bound holographic books with all of the hidden human history and where historical records are kept for Earth and this part of the universe. These halls were overtaken by Dark Fleet players wishing to accomplish two goals with one move. By overtaking the hall's natural processing functions, they created a limited or nullified access to your genuine Akashic records and personal Godspark's history, making it easier to implant false memories used to manipulate your choices. The second was to override or reroute your mental, emotional, spiritual level shifts, healing, or leaps in consciousness available for your Ascension activation and processes that aid in the reawakening of your 12 to 48 strand DNA memory, processing, and potential. These halls have been reclaimed by the light. The souls held captive in stasis have been returned to Source. Many of the possessions currently in place will begin to lose their hold as the body will cease to function without the connection to a Godspark soul. The Dark Fleet also arranged for a deadly virus meant to infuse the progenitors for this part of the Matrix with dark essence energy. As a result, they killed off all of the progenitors for the light, the situation has also been remedied, and for the first time in millions of years, new souls can come into the playground. Question: who are the progenitors? Are they also playing the game? No, they're not on the players list. The progenitors can be thought of more like universal mother energies who birth in the creation energies for this space-time matrix and others. Source created everything in existence, including the progenitors. They're the ones who in turn created all the souls that make up all monads or family collectives. Some call this the Sophia or Prime Mother energy. They work directly with Source energy and created all of the souls in this multiverse and others to fulfill Source's desire to know itself better through self-expression, self-gratification, and self-exploration. There are also other beings who created the game, and still other souls who act as referees, logistics coordinators, builders, guides, and overseers, all helping in our own unique way to ensure the game of self-actualization of Source's desire to expand is fulfilled with greater safety and satisfaction for all players in the classroom game. As we mentioned in our last message, there are certain rules set into place and agreed to by all players before total immersion commenced. These are the universal laws of spirit, which the light team players agreed to before incarnation. The light agreed to follow the universal laws. The dark agreed to break every single one, so we could all better comprehend the consequences of those choices. Question: what are those soul agreements again? The light agreed to do your best to abide by and act from the concepts known on Earth as the 7 virtues, which would keep you off the path of acting from a consciousness frequency that resonates with the 7 deadly sins that the dark agreed to explore and experience. The light agreed to defend but not attack, be it in defense of yourself, an innocent, or another in your care. Standing in your light and honoring what you know in your core is Source aligned and not ego aligned is actually a part of your soul agreement and must be wielded with a willingness to take responsibility for the consequences of those choices. The dark agreed to no such thing. They would attack at will, but agreed to inform other players of their intentions before doing it, which was supposed to give the light team player time to choose to defend. However, this agreement was twisted, utilizing strategies like doublespeak or more than one meaning for your words, which is a form of spellcasting used to manipulate behaviors and confuse other players. This tactic was utilized because the dark cannot create on their own. However, originally it was agreed that some form of cooperation would be necessary at certain junctures in order for all to learn the lessons needed to expand their own consciousness. It is this expansion that allows for the raising up to the next level of the game. This has not been possible until now. Question: can you please remind me of the 7 virtues and 7 sins? Why did we agree to them? The agreement was made for the purpose of greater comprehension of the consequences of living in certain vibrational frequencies and consciousness patterns. The 7 virtues will keep you in alignment with your oversoul and soul mission. They are patience for self and others as a sign of your spiritual endurance in stressful circumstance. Temperance reflects your self-restraint. Charity, or an expression of assistance towards self and others. Kindness, and honoring that we are all Source children. Diligence is also determination and perseverance, trusting of one's ability to succeed. Chastity is actually a respect of sexual energies for self and others, a mastering of self-desire and self-control. Humility reflects having a clear acceptance of and respect for Source gifts in all players. The 7 sins can be seen as wasting God's gifts. Wrath and vengeance are ego-soothing but not soul-expanding. Gluttony and overindulgence shows a total ignorance of boundaries. Greed, or seeking material possession at the expense of all else, is a total imbalance of the flow of give and take. Envy or jealousy lead to wanting what another has instead of appreciation. Laziness and sloth shows an unwillingness to take inspired action to get results. Lust shows a willingness to indulge in base urges in exchange for limited pleasure. Giving in allows uncontrolled desires to become the master of one's mind. And pride allows you to forget that source is in all things, not just some. As always, you're free to choose which aspect of your personality you will nurture and what consequences you're willing to live with as a result of those choices. Question: how long have we been living under Dark Fleet's rule? Approximately 5 million years. Question: why so long? Contracts and agreements made by a small group of chosen humans bound the rest into several agreements and contracts that entrapped your souls and nullified your options. As each of these ancient agreements expire, they are being canceled, with new source-infused agreements being instituted in their place. Question: who is doing this changeover? The guardian of Earth's assets and ambassador for Earth on the Universal Council is working with the Alpha system to ensure the proper corrections are instituted. These actions are being taken in conjunction with the Universal Enforcement Unit, the Universal Council, and at the request of Source itself. The ancient bindings are being removed, and certain parts of the game are being removed, never to be reinstated in the same way. The missing key has been found. The missing links are slowly being replaced. This is an exciting time, not just for humanity on Earth, but for all in the game throughout the multiverse. Question: what's the missing key that's been found? You listening and every single Starseed Lightworker incarnate upon the planet at this time. Your avatar, your God spark, your soul desire, your faith, these are the keys to success that have been missing from the game before now. Your blueprint structure holds the most supported variables within your thought, feeling, belief, DNA patterns needed to house the new frequency codes. These codes will help you break through a negative frequency fence in order to connect with your galactic self and awaken the reversal codes for the Dark Fleet programs in order to broadcast them into the fields around you and the earth below you. You're awake to the old game and infused with new ideas, alternatives, possibilities, and dreams, and that is what is so needed at this point in the transition from Shadowland survival to prosperous Heartland experiences. These avatars you are currently experiencing life from also came in with the ability to wake up your oldest memory files to remember and relearn how to master your higher dimensional abilities. Every time you heal soul wounds, be it new or old, you enhance your divine authentic self, clearing those pockets of grief to make room for your higher dimensional gifts to come through in your earthly representation. You're literally changing the game from within the game, and you're succeeding nicely. Question: what is the Universal Council and what role do they play within the game? To discover the answer to this question and a few more, stay tuned for part 14 of our series on avatars, aliens, and self-actualization within the Matrix. Until next time, thanks for watching. Brought to you by whatcomesnextforyou.com. What comes next for you? What's in your future?